Good evening and welcome to Primetime News on TV1. I'm Jamal Ratnayake for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Zeenat Musafa. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
President says leasing Hambantota for the Chinese was a mistake and that the agreement will be renegotiated with China. Minister Bimal Weerawansa certifies that MCC will not be signed under this government. Prime Minister says a bill will be presented to protect state officials from allegations of financial fraud. Restrictions on overseas travels for 704 officers attached to the CID. Ranil Wickremesinghe ready to let go of his position in the UNP.
Meanwhile, Minister of Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises Development, Industry and Supply, Bimal Weerawansa, assumed his duties today. During the event, Minister Weerawansa spoke about the MCC Compact.
Millennium Challenge Corporation gives some අපේ ආණ්ඩුවක් යටතේ අත්සන් කරන්න කිසිසේත්ම බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ නිසා මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ අපි ජය අරගෙන තියෙනවා.
Bimal Weerawansa was the first person to reveal details of an office of the Millennium Challenge Corporation within Temple Trees. His revelations were later found to be true and accurate. Although we do not agree with Bimal Weerawansa on a number of matters and have at times criticized his conduct and vice versa, we are proud of his stance against the MCC Compact. Every Sri Lankan should be proud of this stance. The entire country would undoubtedly agree with the critical stance against the MCC put forward by Bimal Weerawansa.
Welcome back to the news. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa assumed his duties as the Minister of Finance, Economic Affairs and Policy Development earlier today.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa assumed his duties as the Minister of Finance at the Ministry today. Many officials, including the Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara and Secretary to the Ministry of Finance and Treasury S.R. Artigala, were present at this event. We already know that the new government is ready to build an economy that is centered around the people. The planning is already done to revive the economy of our country and the political structure is being formed for those plans to be implemented immediately. Most of the state officials are afraid when they are summoned to the FCID, but I would like to remind you that when they are being taken there for the things they have done with good intentions, steps will be taken to ensure their safety. The President and this government has presented their policy statement. Regardless of our opinions as state officials, we should share the same policy. Also, I would like to say that we will devote ourselves towards that on behalf of all the state officials. After assuming duties at the Ministry of Finance, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa also assumed duties at the Ministry of Buddha Sasana and Religious Affairs. Although I am the minister, it is the President who has taken the task over. There were talks of a well-disciplined society when the President came into power. That happened automatically in some places. Religious leaders have a similar responsibility as the government to build a disciplined society. The first ever Minister of Finance appointed in the independent Sri Lanka was J.R. Jayawardena. Thereafter, Sir Olive Gunawardena, M.D.H. Jayawardena, Stanley de Soisa and H.M. Mustafa held the position of Minister of Finance in Sri Lanka. After that, Sir Oliver Gunatilaka was reappointed to the position of Finance Minister and J.R. Jayawardena held the ministry for the second time as well. Felix Dias Bandaranayake, C.P. De Silva, P.B.G. Kalugalla, T.B. Ilangaratna and Professor N.M. Pereira respectively held the position after the second term of J.R. Jayawardena as the Finance Minister of Sri Lanka. UB Waninayaka, NM Pereira and Felix Dias Bandaranayaka were once again appointed to the position, and following the election in 1977, Ronnie DeMel became the finance minister of the country. The rest of the list follows as Naina Marikkar, DB Wijetunga, Chandrika Bandaranayaka Kumaratunga, KN Choksi, Professor Sarath Tamunugama and Mahinda Rajapaksa. With the government of the good governance coming into power in 2015, Ravi Karunanayake was appointed to the position, and after his resignation, Mangala Samaravira was appointed as the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka in 2017. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa assumed his duties today as the 26th Finance Minister of Sri Lanka.
Continuing in more local news, overseas travel of 704 officers of the Criminal Investigations Department has been limited.
Police media spokesperson SSP Ruwan Gunasekara said that a document with the names of the officers has been sent to the Department of Emigration and Immigration. The director of the Criminal Investigations Department in a letter has informed the Department of Emigration and Immigration to inform him if any of those officers attempt to travel overseas.
Meanwhile, the police headquarters has informed the director of the CID to immediately launch an inquiry over IP Nishantha Silva travelling overseas without prior approval. IP Nishantha Silva, who served as the officer in charge of the Organised Crimes Investigation Unit of the Criminal Investigation Department, travelled to Switzerland last afternoon. Police spokesperson SSP Ruwan Gunasekara, speaking to Newsfirst, said if any police officer is to travel overseas for official or personal reasons, it is mandatory to obtain approval from the secretary to the ministry. SSP Gunasekara said the inspector of police, however, had travelled overseas without prior approval. Nishantha Silva is well known for handling several high-profile cases, including the Lasantha Wickramatunga assassination and the abduction of 11 youth from Colombo. He added the IP faced criticism for operating in a biased and unjust manner with respect to certain investigations during the past 4 years, and various factions had requested for an independent investigation against the IP, and the Inspector of Police had left the country against such a backdrop. The police spokesperson went on to say the IP had in fact left the country when no investigation or disciplinary inquiry was initiated against him. Citing IP Nishantha Silva's overseas travel as a breach of police discipline, SSP Ruwan Gunasekara said disciplinary action will also be instituted against the Inspector of Police. Meanwhile, parliamentarians of the ruling party criticised IP Nishantha Silva for travelling overseas without prior approval. Now here are some of the views expressed by the relevant parliamentarians. Now IP Nishantha of the CID, the man who did all of this, has fled the country last afternoon without even informing the police. What is the message that this gives us? It is very clear. The people who embarked on a political witch hunt are now fleeing the country because they are not able to answer these questions. There is another person. 3 ministers are now attempting to travel to Singapore under the guise of seeking medical treatment. The former Minister of Health is falling ill quite often now. But we request from His Excellency the President to record a statement from Rajda Senaratne and the 2 other people with beards that he brought that day. They had not just bent the law but completely chewed on it. We request His Excellency the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to implement the law strictly against all of those people involved in this. It is through him that they went after Gotabaya Rajapaksa. Their foreign allegiances can clearly be seen when you consider how fast they were given visa to travel overseas. You can now understand who they were working for. We saved this country from those forces whose allegiances lied with foreign nations. We have been informed that the 2 other officers have obtained visas to flee the country with their entire families. They are connected to the police intelligence. I spoke with the Secretary of Defence and informed him to take the measures to prevent them from leaving the country.
Now in more local news, a police constable died after being hit by a motorbike, but he was on duty patrolling the Sagama Road in Akarepattu.
6 police officers were patrolling the area last night, and they were on duty at 3 locations along the Sagama Road in Akarepattu. The police officers at the first checkpoint had ordered a motorcyclist to stop travelling at high speeds. The motorcyclist disobeyed police orders and travelled forward. The motorcyclist had also disobeyed the orders of the policeman at the second checkpoint and continued forward. The motorcyclist had collided with one of the police officers who ordered him to stop. The motorcyclist fled the scene. The police constable who sustained injuries to his abdomen and left leg passed away at the Kalmune General Hospital while receiving treatment. The deceased police constable was a 52-year-old ALM Lafir, a resident of Attala, Chennai.
Now, a media briefing was convened at the headquarters of the United National Party today.
I strongly believe that anything of that nature will not take place. The leader of the party has also made a very clear statement in this regard. He does not intend to continue in this position for long. We just have to plan the future as a team.
එක ගමනක් යන්න අවශ්‍ය සැලසුම පමණයි කරන්න අවශ්‍ය කියන එක ඒ කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා.
He clearly said he does not intend to remain as party leader for long. He said not to think about him.
ඒ පොදු තීරණය
We will take that decision soon in a manner that will not divide the UNP.
Joining the Ilakhe program on Sirasa TV, UNP MP Naling Bandara expressed the following views.
අපි දැන් කරන්න ඕනේ ඉතින් වෙන මොකුත් නෙමෙයි අපි පක්ෂයේ වහාම ප්‍රතිසංවිධානය.
At this point, we should only focus on reconstructing our party immediately and go forward with the new leadership. Ranil Wickremesinghe led this party for 25 years, that is 1/4 of a century. In my view, it is unfair for the UNP if he continues to remain as party leader. He must hand over party leadership to Sajith Premadasa, as Sajith Premadasa is not responsible for the election defeat. He contested the presidential election when he was not even the leader of the UNP. The party's reconstructing process should be handed over to a new team. We have some belief that he will hand over party leadership. However, we will not depend on this and we will consider other alternative measures. We want to solve this issue as soon as possible.
අවධානය යොමු කරලා තියෙනවා. ඉතින් අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙලා තියෙන්නේ තාම ඉක්මනින් මේ ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳන්න.
Attending an event in Nindavur, leader of the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress, Rauf Hakim, expressed the following views.
Everyone of all ages who met with me said only one thing. Please do not come with Ranil Wickremesinghe. He does not understand this. I am not sure whether it's right or wrong to say anything like this in public, but this was what really happened. They said he was not aware of the things that were taking place in the country. Recently, an MP of the TNA had told him, "We cannot allow you to weaken the party, as weakening the UNP is equal to weakening the TNA." He also said the only way this issue can be solved is by reconstructing the party and initiating change. He said if we do not discuss the matters with Mahinda Rajapaksa and let go of the UNP, this is a critical situation. We received a major victory from the northern and eastern provinces. Now try to claim ownership of this victory. We, on the other hand, listen to all of this but remain silent. This is nothing but drama. Today there is a wave of sympathy and the UNP should take account of this. However, the leaders are not allowing this. They want to sustain the division within the party and they are preparing for this.
Now, the following views were expressed by Iran Vikramaratne on our Newsline program this morning.
Are you amongst the 47 people who signed the document asking for Sajith Premadasa as the leader of the opposition?
Yes, I am. I signed that, certainly signed that letter, and many have signed it. It's not 47, the number has since grown. Right, number has grown. The vast
over 55?
It is, vast majority of people want basically a change. I think that is being seriously looked at by the leader in the party and everybody who is in politics. No, I think people are being too harsh on the United National Party, because if you see the party and the members of parliament have acted swiftly and responsibly in actually making their views known.
Irresponsibly, perhaps, in the case of Akira.
Yeah, but
written that letter without consultation.
Yeah, so majority have acted responsibility. They have brought it to the notice of the speaker, and he has a lot to consider.
Now, here are some of the views which were expressed at a media briefing convened by the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumuna earlier today. If this is a parliament election, we would have won over 120 seats in parliament. Now, what is the most democratic course of action in this instance? Under these circumstances, we must come to an agreement within parliament to dissolve parliament and hold a general election and allow the people of this country to appoint new MPs to represent them. But the party that has a majority in the current parliament says that they cannot do it. They say that they are against this. We see this as creating a delay. This is a waste of time. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has said that we will not succumb to this. We will continue to take steps to do everything legally possible to dissolve parliament. We are deeply analysing on how we can achieve these aspirations of the people.
නිත්‍යානුකූලව කරන්න පුළුවන් හැම දෙයක්ම කරනවා ඊට ඉස්සෙල්ලා පුළුවන් නම් පාර්ලිමේන්තුව විසිරුවා හැරීම. දැන් අපි ගැඹුරින් සලකා බලාගෙන යනවා කොහොමද මේ ජනතා අපේක්ෂාවන් සාක්ෂාත් කර ගැනීම සඳහා මේ පියවර ගන්නේ.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා පොදු ජන පෙරමුණ පොහොට්ටුවෙන් අපි බොහොම පැහැදිලිව
The Sri Lanka
තුනෙන් බලයක් ලබා ගන්නවා. වරුවට හදපු 19 මොන සංශෝධනයක් ඔක්කොම වෙනස් කරන්න අපි තුනෙන් දෙක බලයක් ජනතාවගෙන් ලබා ගන්නවා ඒක ඉස්තිරයි. We
will contest through an alliance. In my personal opinion, I prefer to contest under the symbol of the flower bud representing the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramunu. The symbol that is in the hearts of the people of the country is the flower bud. So we cannot remove the flower bud from the minds of the people. We will be able to get 150 seats in parliament. That is the opinion of Rohit Abegunawardena.
A tense situation occurred during the Minnal political program telecast on Shakti TV last evening. Now this was after former Minister Manu Ganeshan responded to a statement made by former Minister ALM
பழைய மக்கள் அவங்களுக்கு என்ன நடக்கணும் அவங்களுக்கு இந்த சம்பள பிரச்சனை 150 ரூபா ஒவ்வொரு காலாகாலம் 500 ரூபா அதை பற்றி காய்ச்சிக்கிறீங்கப்படா மலையக மக்களை வாழ்றதுக்கு திட்டம் என்ன அவனோட சிறுபான்மை மக்கள் இத்தனை காலமா இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை வச்சு கதைக்கிறாங்க ஏதாவது ஒன்று நடந்திருக்கு அந்த நாட்டில்
பிரதேசப்படுத்த கட்சியின் தலைவராக இருக்கும் பொழுது ஒன்றுமே செய்யவில்லை.
ஒரு
சபைகள் பாருங்கள் ஒரு மாகாணத்தில் முஸ்லிம் மக்களுக்கு பிரதேசம் பெற்றுக் கொடுக்க முடியவில்லை. இவர்களுக்கு நாங்கள் மலையை பெற்றுக்
கொடுத்து புண்ணாரிக்கணும் சமூகம் அவனும் தோட்டக்காடானம் அப்படித்தான் இருக்கணும் தமிழனும்
தோட்டக்காட்டான் என்று சொன்னதை இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி மூலமாக கண்டிக்கிறோம். இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி மூலமாக மனோ கணேசன் இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி மூலமாகவும் நிகழ்ச்சி மூலமாகவும் இருவரையும்
என்ன கதைக்க வந்தது விளங்கல
இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி மூலமாகவும்
மக்களுக்கும் அந்த அநியாயத்தை செய்கிறேன். இல்ல இல்ல இல்ல
நான் நினைக்கின்றேன்
நல்லா பேசுறேன்.
நீங்கள்
மனோ தோட்டத்து மக்களுக்கு நான் தான் பேசுறேன்.
நான் நினைக்கின்றேன் அந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை இத்தோடு நிறைவு செய்து கொள்ளலாம் என்று நினைக்கின்றேன். அவர் சொன்ன வார்த்தை பிரயோகத்தை இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி மூலமாக வன்மையாக கண்டிக்கிறோம். அதே நேரம் மக்கள் ஒருவரை ஒருவர் புரிந்து கொண்டவர்களாக ஒருவரை ஒருவர் கௌரவத்தோடு பார்ப்பவர்களாக இருக்க வேண்டிய கடமை தமிழ் பேசும் சமூகத்துக்கு உண்டு. இந்த நிகழ்ச்சியை பார்த்து கொண்டிருந்த மக்களிடமே இந்த நிகழ்ச்சிக்கான தீர்ப்பை விடுகின்றோம். ஆனால் அவர் சொல்லி அந்த தோட்ட தொழிலாளர்கள் என்கின்ற வார்த்தை பிரயோகத்தை இந்த நிகழ்ச்சி மூலமாகவும் வன்மையாக கண்டிக்கின்றோம்.
Now the Vice Chairman of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Thilanga Sumatipala, responded to the statement made by MP Rohit Abegunawardena.
එවැගේම දැන් මේ රෝහිත අබේගුණවර්ධන මහත්මයා සඳහන් කරනවා එතුමාන් කැමති පොහොට්ටුව ලකුණේ පොදු ජන පෙරමුණ යටතේ මහා මැතිවරණයට
ඉස්ලාම සන්දානයක් හැටියට අපි කටයුතු කරන්න වෙනවා. දැන්ට පක්ෂ
First, we will have to work as an alliance. There are 17 parties who are part of this alliance. All of the party leaders should be called and the alliance be established, and the most suitable course of action is, no matter what anyone says, 7 million people in the country have voted. We must consider on how we are going to work for the general election. Also, we can see that we must get more votes in the north and the east. So, we have an idea and a strategy for the general election. Sometimes we might contest under different symbols in some districts. In some districts, we will have to work with the aspirations of the people. We will work accordingly for the general election in order to get the maximum power in parliament.
මහචන්දයට සුදුසු විදියට
Today marks the start of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. Now, Newsfirst's Amma Vibanagoda filed this report.
Violence can affect any woman regardless of her social background or the country she is brought up in. Now, more than 1/3 of women have been affected by gender-based violence at some point of her life, making it one of the most prevalent human rights violations in this world. Now, women and girls are the two most vulnerable groups during any humanitarian crisis, and to draw attention to this issue, the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women starts today and will go on until the 10th of December. This international campaign is called 16 Days of Activism Against Gender-Based Violence. Under this year's theme, Orange the New World, Generation Equality Stands Against Rape, the campaign focuses on the issue of rape as a specific form of harm committed against women and girls in time of peace or war. WHO is calling for more action to prevent and end violence against women. Women who experience violence are at an increased risk of death and injuries, but also of developing mental health issues such as depression, self-harm or suicide, and alcohol use disorder, as well as sexual and reproductive health concerns such as unwanted pregnancies, low birth weight babies, and sexually transmitted diseases. Across the WHO European region, 1 in 4 women experience sexual and or physical violence by an intimate partner. Estimates say that about 5% of women have been sexually assaulted by someone other than their partner.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News on TV1. Thank you for watching.
I'm Jayamal Ratnayaka.
And I'm Zeenat Musafir.
Take care and good night.